So there have been some pretty epic moments on Arrow to date, but I think the season finale, where you blew up an entire island with almost every character that we've come to love and hate on the show. What the heck? How did you guys come to that moment where you're like, yep, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna give them any answers.
Well, it really came from the writers' room, actually. We had this idea at the very beginning of season 5 of how are we going to go out in the most epic and cool way possible, and also really close the chapter on Oliver's past. We knew we weren't going to go past season 5 with the flashbacks, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. It was a great sort of metaphor as well as a great plot ending point.
We'd never done a true cliffhanger. All the season finales that we've done in the past, they had a definitive ending to the season, and we thought, you know what, for season 5, let's mix it up. Let's do a proper cliffhanger, and that idea, meshed very well with the notion of blowing up the island.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Prometheus was one of the darkest villains that we've had. We also were very excited about him because he was psychological.
As the killer that I know and love.
And it felt like a very poetic way for him to end a season where he'd already been, really messing with Oliver's head, torturing him, and going to, forcing him to go to some pretty dark places.
Yeah.
It felt right. And it also felt right that we got him to a place where, Oliver was smart enough to sort of back him into a corner. So really the island became his plan B. All he ultimately wanted to do was to show Oliver to be the killer that he was, but when he couldn't do that, he was forced to, resort to taking all the people that he loved and putting them in jeopardy.
What was it about season 5 where you guys said this is where we're not gonna do flashbacks anymore? Because it really has become such a hallmark of what Arrow is, getting to see the moments that have happened in the past who made him who he is now, and meeting new characters through it as well.
We're not eliminating flashbacks.
Okay.
We're eliminating what we call the serialized flashback story, which was, we're telling a 5-year story of Oliver. I think all of us, including Greg Berlanti, we were all very much in agreement that, no, this was always designed to be a 5-year story with the flashbacks. Let's honor that. Let's end the flashbacks as we always intended to, which would be with Oliver running through the forest like we met him in the pilot, firing that arrow, lighting that bonfire, and that's the end of the flashbacks.
And you do have more time and real estate in the episodes themselves, so we'll be able to break form and maybe tell someone else's flashbacks, tell origin stories in a different way, which would be really cool. Tell other characters' stories, which is very exciting. And in the episodes where we don't have them at all, you're able to explore stories and explore character, and you just have a lot more time.
So obviously we lost a pretty big villain from last season. Team Arrow has got to have another great epic villain to go up against. Who are we going to see in the next season?
We're going to see a group of them, for sure. There's going to be a team of villains this season, but one of the biggest ones that we're going to see, and we'll see her from the beginning, is Black Siren, who we got a little tease of last year, and we're very excited to have Katie back on the show. She's fantastic in this role, and it's a great villain because it really speaks to, not just to, a plot or what her agenda is, but it speaks to the emotional state of everybody on the show, particularly with respect to Oliver. This is an old friend of his, and coming back to do some evil, so it's going to have some resonance.
I know you guys always talk about on this show in particular that it's so much about family and bringing the characters back that have an emotional connection to them. Obviously we've seen Oliver have a lot more family connections. Where is that going to go?
In terms of family, I would say we saw William at the end of last season, and Oliver's reconnected with his son, so Oliver will be exploring fatherhood a little bit in season 6. Beyond that,
you'll have to see.
Well, and I think another great thing is obviously Arrow kind of started it all for CW and the superhero genre, but there's so many crossovers. Do you guys watch the other shows now and kind of think, oh my gosh, okay, we want to bring that character over here, or it would be really fun to bring this person into the mix?
Well, Black Siren's the perfect example, actually, and we do like pulling from, it's easier to pull from Flash than it is Legends or Supergirl's very, very hard because of the parallel Earths of it all. But yeah, we, when it's appropriate, like there's, we've experimented with bringing on Flash villains in season 4, and I think we kind of discovered it doesn't quite feel tonally right for our show, but we're glad we tried, but you never know. But certainly Black Siren's the biggest addition.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Arrow premieres on its new night, Thursday, October 12th.
Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the CW to see more from Arrow.